I hope the microphones are okay, Stephen. I selected them all on the one track. We're live and interactive here, by the way. I'm just chatting shite over the intro, as I'm prone to doing. Well, hello, and welcome into this Sunday's discussion podcast, whatever the fuck it is we're actually calling this, Stephen. I don't think we've ever get round to naming it. But of course, Stephen, weekend of Oasis, their big bombastic return to being a live act. And it'd be remiss of us not to discuss it. We kind of discussed this entire process before it was announced, just wishing them to get back together. After it was announced, discussing the details and the news and the speculation. And now we've had two live performances in Cardiff, Stephen. We're here to discuss just little snippets. We've obviously listened to it. We weren't fortunate enough to be in the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. But I don't know about you, Stephen. I've listened to nearly the entire set via various different angles, some better than others. The one I was listening to last night from night 2, phenomenal. The sound, and we'll get into it, Stephen, but they have not got the problems that the Rolling Stones had in their first couple of gigs, let me tell you that.
But it's funny, John, and it's something I've said, and I'll keep saying it, but Oasis proved me wrong. I never, when I go to, obviously, you know, a gig, if it's maybe a 2 or 3 nights, I try and avoid the first night, because that's the one where it's almost like the warm-up.
I'm going to cut you away, do you? I'm going to go and get my dog. 2 seconds, I'll cut you away.
You would not think for a minute that first night was the first time they had performed. I know they've done rehearsals and stuff like that, but there's nothing like a live performance. You can rehearse all you want, but once you're doing that live in front of a large crowd, it's a different thing. I thought that was a great performance by Oasis on the first night, John. I've not seen the second night footage yet, but just everything from start to finish from what we've seen on YouTube, as much content as possible we could get our hands on. Some of it was poor. It's mobile phones, John. This is the other thing. It's a bit of a catch-22 is that, you know, we'll moan about the people with holding up their phones and their iPads, but this is the way we're getting to see it.
Yeah, exactly. And I wasn't complaining at all. I was watching a guy live streaming it for the first 25, 30 minutes. And then someone, obviously security, got wind of it and came up and told him to cut it. But I was kind of glad, Stephen. It was terrible. The angle was terrible. Fair play to the guy trying to let people who weren't fortunate enough to be there get an essence of what was going on, or get a sense of what was going on. But it was terrible audio quality, man. It was cutting in and out. So I was quite fortunate to just wait off. And then obviously the people who were holding their phones up much closer to the action posted it on YouTube and various other places afterwards, and we got to hear the full clarity and see just the emotion, Stephen, on their faces. You could see that Liam was in his element. This guy belongs on a stage with a rock band behind him, his band, Oasis, behind him, thousands, tens of thousands of people in front of him. I don't think I've heard this guy's voice sound this good since probably 2000 or something like that. This could be a good 25 years since his voice has sounded as good as it is right now. And I had concerns about night 2 falling in quick succession, that it would not be as good, but it was night 2 I heard predominantly, and his vocals were just unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. He's sounding incredible. And the band, the musicality, man, the guitar playing, they're just on it. On it, man. I'm so surprised. And Stephen, there's an article here from a month ago, and I could bring it up. I don't know if it'll work, but I'll bring it up. But it's been proven to be true now. It's actually been proven to be true. Fucking Bono. Bonehead, I'm trying to ditch this fucking thing here and bring this up because that's much better. It's bigger, crisper. Bono. Bonehead. It's not that one. That's not it. It's this here. It was fucking Bono. It was Bono. It was Bono. It wasn't Bonehead. That's why I said Bono. And I combine Bonehead with Bono and says Bono. Bono. No, it's losing all meaning now. I've said it that many times. It's starting to lose meaning. I don't even know how to say the name now. It says that Noel Gallagher was shocked. This was over a month ago by how good Oasis were sounding, and now that you hear them live, you know that's not a lie, because they sounded fucking incredible, unbelievable. I don't think I've heard Noel play the guitar that good in about 20 years as well. He was just, I've seen videos of this guy mucking up Don't Look Back in Anger, the solo. He was possessed.
Yeah.
Possessed. His playing was on another level. Games was on another level.
I've read those articles you're talking about in terms of the sound checks and the obviously the rehearsals and stuff like that, and people saying they sound phenomenal. But I always took that with a pinch of salt. It was part of the media sort of promotion of this upcoming tour, and perhaps maybe the tinted specs on from Oasis, like fans that have supported them from the first day. But no, I mean, I think just looking at those, I know we'll talk about the standout tracks for both of us, John, that we've seen so far in terms of performance, in terms of Liam's voice, in terms of Noel's guitar playing. You expect that from the ones who obviously created these great tunes, but the one that stood out for me as well was the drummer. Obviously, he's a seasoned drummer, for the past 30, 35 years with different bands, REM being one of them. And I just felt they felt and sounded very tight in those performances, like they'd never been away.
Yeah, Stephen, I says that to you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I says to you. And I said to someone, it's like they've never skipped a beat. It feels like they've just... They've been away for a week or two and they've got right back into it. It feels like they've never been away. And this is a band that's been split for over a decade. I'm pretty sure getting close to a decade. 2008. It's not quite a decade.
Yeah, 16 years it's been.
It's over a decade. I'm losing my fucking mind. It is. It's 16 fucking years. Over a decade. And you wouldn't think it. The way they've slipped back in. It's a different drummer. But Stephen, that's not something Oasis are alien to. We've went through quite a few drummers with them over the years. I thought the drummer was brilliant, but then Stephen, I says to you in the build-up when Liam, I think, confirmed that he was going to be the drummer and how he was quite happy with it. I'd watched him with John Squire live and obviously Liam and him doing the drumming, and I thought just listening to the live stuff, he's got, obviously, we know he's got the fucking dates, he's drum with REM and other esteemed bands, but just listening to him performing with them, I'm like, he's got the right hits, he's got the right power. This guy's going to be absolutely fine on this sort of reunion tour, and you can see it on that first two nights. Absolutely nailing Don't Look Back in Anger, Live Forever, all the drum bits that you would expect to pop, he was fucking keeping up handsome with the OG members. Stephen Game is a standout for me. There was a moment, I'm trying to remember which song it was, I'm looking through. It was one where Noel was playing acoustic, he was playing on his Gibson with Bonehead, who was also playing a 12-stringer acoustic. I'm trying to remember which song it was now. I'm looking through the sort of set list and it's evading me at the moment, but Game is playing little arpeggiated stuff on his Trini Lopez Gibson, and I'm like, fuck me. This guy is just absolutely fucking on it. They are all on it, man. I don't know if they were on it prior to the actual performances, and that's why musically they were on it, but so tight, unbelievable. Now you understand why people were buzzing from the sort of sound checks, the rehearsals in that little townhouse in London, because they have hit the ground running, man. I says I would be worried if I was someone going to the first night or two, because it's going to be rough until they get it back together. They hit fucking absolutely on it. Stephen, what is your thoughts on the set list though? Obviously,
I mean, John, I was just looking at it while you were talking, and I think it was quite a sensible thing to do. Have Noel do back-to-back songs, in the middle. He did 3, Talk Tonight, Half the World Away, and Little by Little. That gives Liam a little chance just to refresh himself, get himself together again for the second half of the show. I know Noel in the encore does 2 as well, so I think it's a good balance they've done there. They've really went in with obviously the rockier hits to come onto the stage, and then just as we get to probably just after maybe Roll With It, we're kind of taking the tempo down a little bit, and then we're kicking back in with Do You Know What I Mean. I saw that one, John. I thought it was a great version of it. I've heard Liam do this with his own band in studio for BBC radio sessions. I can't remember if it was Radio 1 or Radio 2, I can't remember, but even him doing that then without Noel, it sounded good. His voice sounded good for it as well. But yeah, I mean, I think in terms of the set list, a couple of little moans from certain people. Lila wasn't in there, but they've got so many hits, John. They've got such a catalogue, you know, you can't play them all, you know, and it's just the way it is.
I think
Lila's not one of my favourite ones anyway.
It's not one of their best songs. I mean, it is one of their best later kind of songs, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not on the same level as the vast majority on that set list. Stephen, you have to realise the key demographic of people going are either younger people who weren't alive or were too young to appreciate them when they were out originally. They've been brought up by the generation that were teenagers when they were out in the middle of their peak years in the 90s, and they'd have gave them the education via What's the Story, Morning Glory, Be Here Now, fucking Definitely Maybe. That'd have been the first three albums that they'd have been hammering, because that's the three greatest albums. So that's what's synonymous with the younger generation, all of the hits from the first 2/3 albums. The other key demographic is the actual people who lived and breathed it, and I want to go back for nostalgia. And again, they're not wanting to listen to the later stuff. They're not wanting to listen to Standing on the Shoulders of Giants or Heaving Chemistry, whatever the fuck it's called, because I always butcher that. They want to hear the greatest hits. And it's just, I mean, it's not sad at all, because they were absolutely prolific for the first 3 albums. And then you think of the master plan, all the B-sides and stuff like that were out in that initial 90s phase. That's when they were truly great. So that just stands to reason it's going to be front-loaded in terms of their career. So I've got no issues with the set listing. I think it's absolutely bang on. I can't really think of any I would have changed, other than maybe Stop Crying Your Heart Out. I'd have put that in there because it's one of my personal favourites. But this is a really rock-heavy performance. You're going down a couple of notches for some of Noel's stuff, Talk Tonight and the Master Plan. But they're like crowd pleasers. The crowd can sing along with them. The lyrics roll off. I personally can't sing to save myself. But when I hear the Master Plan, I'm singing along with it. So those songs are crowd pleasers. Stop Crying Your Heart Out, it's a little bit more mellow. It's heavily arpeggiated. It's a mellower kind of tune. I don't think it would have fitted in with the vibe, the sort of set they've put together there. I think they've nailed it. Liam says that they'd get the balance right. And listening to it, Hello, fucking great start. Obviously, it's Hello. It's great to be back. It's just brilliant hearing them harmonising again, the two brothers. They come in holding hands, they get right into it. Liam's in his element, Noel's harmonising beautifully with him. Then you go into Aqueous, one of my personal favourite Oasis songs of all time. Absolutely fucking love it. Pure rock and roll. Just great. And then it gets better and better and better as it goes on. The set list.
I think a lot of people, obviously people there would have seen the chemistry, the physical chemistry between the Gallagher brothers predominantly, you know, but seeing them walk out on stage arm in arm was something that I was intrigued to see. I wanted to see, is this the real thing, or is it going to be, because you're going to get people that are going to knock this whole thing anyway. You're going to be very negative in terms of it's for money, it's for Noel's divorce or whatever, all that bollocks. I don't really care.
I thought that, but not now.
When you walk out arm in arm, you just knew, because it would have been easy, John, for Liam to come on for the left side, Noel from the right hand side, and then went their separate ways at the end of the gig. But it didn't. There was a moment at the very end as well, just after Champagne Supernova, where they hugged each other as well.
And then the second night, Stephen, when he came out the second night, I think Liam actually did a bow to Noel, and then Noel done a little sort of like more aristocratic kind of tipped himself and bowed as well. So I think there's a mutual appreciation for each other here. Yeah. And I genuinely think Liam, you know, is going to be up for it, because this is him. This is just, he's in his element. This is when this guy comes into his own. He is, for me, I can't think of a greater frontman in the history of rock and roll than Liam Gallagher. I genuinely can't think of anybody that commands a stage like that guy. And I'm going way back to like the fucking Who and the Beatles and stuff like that. The Beatles were a great band, But as a singular frontman, I don't think there's anybody tops Liam Gallagher. The guy is made.
UK, John, certainly not in the UK.
No.
And not for the past 40 years anyway, at least. Some might say the Sex Pistols, but I mean, it's really just, I suppose, what you're into. But I agree with you. I think in terms of Liam Gallagher, his presence on stage, aggressive voice of his as well, it's just matches obviously the music as well, the tone of the music. And it's Noel that said, and this is one of the things he said, I think during an interview, he says, I wouldn't be anywhere without Liam and he wouldn't be anywhere without me. And it's nice, that acknowledgement, that they understand that the place is in this sort of story, and that in particular this band as well, that they need each other for this to work, and you saw that chemistry. I don't care what I think the Daily Mail or something like that was on it today, try to suggest, perhaps that Noel was just phoning this in, he wasn't interested by a couple of looks. Bollocks. If you watch the whole thing, if you see enough of the footage you've seen, they're in a good place, those two brothers, at the moment. I hope it lasts. That's the most important thing. It's early days, John. It's only the second night, but it's good early indications that they're in a good place. And obviously, in terms of going forward, they may change the set list when they go to the US, because I know Don't Stop Crying Your Heart Out was I think it was a hit over in the United States, particularly because it was used in the film The Butterfly Effect. So they might mix it a little bit depending on where they are. I think this is predominantly for obviously a UK audience because, as you said, it's the first 3 albums that everyone in this country remembers the most, Yeah,
I was just a bit intrigued when they go over to the US, Stephen, because that was obviously something that was always eating away at them. The fact they never really, I mean, they did crack the US, but they never cracked it to the extent they could have. And obviously when they went over initially there was a lot of issues. I think they fell out. That's how Talk Tonight get penned. Noel was on a plane from fucking, what was it, Las Vegas or something like that, getting back to San Francisco, and he spoke to a woman on the flight. So they obviously had bickering and issues, and there was legal issues I think as well, potentially. Not as bad as like the Kinks back in the day, but it'll be intriguing to see how it's going to sell out just purely because of them being away so long and coming back. But I'm intrigued to see what the set list is when they go over to the States. Stephen, getting back to Noel though, I've seen this. They've all there's 3 separate tour managers. There's one for Liam, there's one for Noel, there's one for the rest of the band. That's absolutely fine. You've got to tick all the boxes and make sure everyone's happy. And the nature of what happened prior, you need to have each voice being represented. And that will alleviate tensions. If there's any issues there, if they can't deal with it personally, they can get it dealt with behind the scenes. So that's a smart thing to do. That's not a negative. I don't think Noel's phoning it in at all. I think he looked in his element. There was moments where he was looking emotional.
If all the publicity over the last 2 days it's been probably 99% positive in terms of performance and chemistry, and in terms of the set list as well. And the crowd, John, it's another thing. We've got a few comments we'll have to get to, by the way. But I think in terms of the crowd, I've said this to you a couple of times now, I was very transfixed on the crowd, seeing the different generations from, boys and girls from, 13, 14, right up to, younger guys and ladies right into their 60s, all just having a great time. This is what's been missing, John, for a long time, certainly in the United Kingdom, where you were talking about Glastonbury last week. There's not any bands anymore,
Yeah, I mean, I was criticising Glastonbury, Stephen.
Franz Ferdinand, a great band, John. We both love Alex Kapranos, but their time was 20 years ago, and they've like all those bands at that time, they've had to wheel them out just to have a billing. And it's sad to see.
But they saved it though, Stephen, for me.
I think this country needs Oasis at the moment in terms of live music.
But from those bands saved it for me. You had the Libertines on Sunday, and I watched them, and they saved the Sunday. Because you had Olivia Rodrigo headlining it, and no harm to her. She's a young woman, but it's not Glastonbury for me. Neil Young could never take to Neil. Not really having him. Don't get me wrong, it was better than the alternative on the other stage, but the 1975's Biffy Clyro. I was trying to think of another band out with of Oasis who are obviously busy doing their own thing, and I couldn't name another band, a rock band outside the Foo Fighters who could headline a festival like Glastonbury. That's a sad state of affairs. where we're at with music. So you're absolutely right. It's the best fucking possible time for Oasis to be coming back because the world needs them. We have got comments. I didn't see them. I want them to play She's Electric. They sound amazing so far. She's Electric's another great song, but again, it's quite a mellow song for Oasis. I mean, Oasis haven't got many mellow songs, but you think of that, it's kind of like a, almost banjo-like Electric going on at the start, isn't it? I love it as well, Stephen, but it's mellow. And I don't think they're going for mellow with these concerts. I think they're going for balls to the wall. Put Liam out there, let him scream his head off and wow the audience.
If I had to pick one out with She's Electric, it would have been Shake and Make Her.
Oh, yeah, that's one of your favourites, yeah, Stephen, yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah, you used to play that on the guitar a lot, didn't you?
Yeah.
Stephen, I've got the full Oasis plug just now, man. I've modded my ES335 out to fuck. I'm trying to be no. Sadly, I've got a 50th of the talent. I've no, but I've went down an Oasis rabbit hole. I just wish I had a ticket for Murrayfield. I'm crying into my pillow now in the nightly. I was kind of easing the pain by saying, yeah, they'll be shite. They're in their 50s. But that blew my fucking mind when I seen the first 2 nights. I'm like, wow.
There's a dark side of you, John, hoping this whole thing would crash and burn.
I had like 3 bites at the cherry and couldn't get a ticket in any of them. I got selected by Ticketmaster for a ballot for London because I missed out because of technical issues, and I still didn't get a ticket. 80,000, fucking 100,000 people, I still don't get a ticket. And now I've seen them, I'm like, oh, painful. I just hope they can hold it together and do another tour in the next couple of years and I can go then. I'd put in Don't Go Away. Don't Go Away is another good one, yeah. But the set list is just... If you want to advertise what Oasis are all about, I mean, that set list does it. There's not a single weak song there. And you're talking about 23 songs, I think. Which is just... That's more than most fucking acts could dream of putting out in their lifetime. And them being half decent, they're all excellent. They're from the first 3 albums, bar one, Little by Little, which is also fucking outstanding. And I watched that. It was a great performance from Noel. But Noel's, he's phoning it in according to the press over here. Bellends. I couldn't get ticket again. We had a comment in the other channel about the Telegraph and things like that. It says first problem you've got is you're reading the Telegraph. Fucking arseholes. Cian, I probably butchered your name. I couldn't get tickets, but I stood outside the stadium with hundreds of other fans and sang my heart out. You know, I was thinking of people like yourself, because you'd hear it and you'd get a vibe. I know when Taylor Swift was up here at Murrayfield, there was people sitting outside and listening, and to be fair, like, you'll still hear them. They're that loud, you're not going, even with the roof on, you're not going
It's like the rock equivalent of Murray's Mound, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, if you can't get into centre court, you sit, you know, you get the sort of vibes.
Yeah.
Just being around the people that are in there and the people that are out there, and just being close to that moment.
Yeah, there's an energy, Stephen.
At the end of the day, isn't it?
I mean, it was like with my football team, I was lucky enough to be in the stadium, even though we lost in Seville in the UEFA Cup final 20 odd years ago. But there was people, thousands of people went there just for the vibes. And they had the time of their life, even though we lost. And that's what it's all about. It's being with like-minded people and getting caught up in it. I love seeing Noel straight up playing lead guitar again. Well, you know, it's funny you should say that, mate. He's the reason so many of us picked up a guitar. I'm certainly one of them. That's why I've got that guitar. I've had that guitar for 17 years or something now, 2008. And he was the reason I bought the guitar, even though his is a different model. It was Cherry Red 335. I'm like, I need to get that because I love Noel. But I didn't actually he was playing lead. But what I loved about Noel, and from the videos I've seen, is he was kind of taking a back step or a back seat to game for a lot of the stuff. He was playing like lead, like riff stuff, and then Noel would be playing the rhythm. Then he'd go into the solo. But he was doing like a mixture. He was kind of like on the acoustic, and then he was popping the guitar on and playing like the solo. So he was doing a lot of work. He was doing a lot of different stuff with the guitar work and the performances. I appreciated it. As a Noel's... John, he totally underplays himself as a guitarist. He's a fucking great guitarist.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a great guitarist.
He's an inspiration to generations as well. You know, obviously, just as Mike said there, you know, he is the reason that so many people picked up a guitar. And I think I picked up my first acoustic in the mid-90s, and it was probably based on Noel Gallagher. Although I wasn't a massive Oasis fan at the time, I was more into R.E.M. and stuff like that, and probably was more focused on Pete Buck, and his guitar playing, but I certainly couldn't afford a Rickenbacker or anything like that. So I went for the acoustic, and it's probably down to Noel, because I think one of my first
trying to get you back, Stephen. I can't hear you at the moment. Other people can hear you, though. I just can't.
Chords, obviously, the Oasis, book. It was one of those sort of basic chord books.
Yeah.
And it was all Oasis songs, and it was all down to Noel Gallagher. But I was going to mention something, and it's went totally out of my head.
It's probably my fault.
I totally agree. I think in terms of just being around, the gigs would have been something as well. Some street performing, some chap, but like a busker, almost, singing She's Electric, and what was the one, Half the World Away, as well. I think just everyone was just getting into the spirit of it. It's been missed. I think a lot of people have missed this. Going to a Noel Gallagher High Flying Birds concert is one thing, and I'm sure you'd have a great time. And the same with Liam Gallagher. I just think
it's the harmony, Stephen.
Yeah,
those two together is special.
Yeah.
It's just you hear Liam doing it in his trademark style, and then you'll hear Noel coming in with the higher pitched sort of stuff. It's just special seeing them back together again. And look, I spoke about it before we came on. Noel, I think Noel's appreciating what he's not had. I'm not saying he was playing to 20 people and their dog, but he wasn't getting the crowds. He wasn't selling out Nebworth like Liam was. He was getting slightly lower crowds. He's been enormously successful with the High Flying Birds. I'm not trying to do it down. His last album was great, Council Skies, loved it.
Yep.
But now he's stepped out on a stage with 80, 90,000 people. You cannot tell me, being a human being, creating all that magic, seeing multi-generational generations of people in the one place, singing back to you, that must fucking move you. You can't tell me he's not enjoying it. He must be enjoying it. You'd need to be dead inside. I know he's cantankerous at times, but fucking hell. I mean, I think he appreciates what he's not had. And Liam, certainly, he's back with his band, so he's in his fucking element. Bonehead as well. I'm delighted for Bonehead, man. He's an unsung hero. Unsung hero. What a fucking guitar player he is. And when they were playing Champagne Supernova, I don't know if he was playing that little thing. That little mouth organ keyboard thing that he plays. I don't know the name of the instrument. But just hearing that's, for me, I love Live Forever. That's my favourite. But there's something about when I was younger, much younger, I used to listen to Champagne Supernova on a loop, even though it's like 9 minutes long. It's just something about it, man. That little organ thing, the little arpeggiated stuff at the end, and the vocals, it's beautiful. I agree, Liam was amazing. He's been really, the last 2 days, that's the best I've seen him in a long time. Unbelievable vocals. It's like he's been saving it for this moment. He's been keeping his voice on ice. He's got the spoon in the milk carton, just waiting until he can get back again.
You mentioned Nebworth, Liam doing Nebworth. Do you think that's perhaps maybe the point that Noel started to take notice of Liam again?
Potentially. I just think it was...
that it was obviously a wanted man at this point in terms of, I
think it's probably the moment, Stephen, that Noel's realised that there's enough people interested of different generations to generate serious money for them, and that you better get back and sort of get on this, man, before it's too late and people move on to something else. I think Noel does love the money. I mean, they all love the money, but like I says, I think you need to be dead not to be caught up in the actual energy in the atmosphere now that you're actually on stages experiencing it. David Campbell was in Cardiff on Saturday, lucky bastard. Best day out ever. Genuinely felt more like a party than a concert. The vibes were unreal, happy the whole day. It helps when you've got good weather as well, David, to be fair, which up here we are simply not getting. It feels like November. So I just hope it clears up for the lucky bastards that are going to Edinburgh at the beginning of next month Because if it's anything like the weather we're getting just now, then those good vibes will be long gone. And it's bad enough being in Edinburgh. And if it's shite weather, not even Oasis will save the day. Hearing the lyrics mean so much more now. It's good to be back. We need each other. We believe in one another. Yeah, I think that's true, yeah. I genuinely think Noel was getting emotional. I've seen clips from the crowd. I think it was Slide Away. He'd just done a harmony and then it went over to, I think, Liam singing, and he kind of just looked up and he seemed to have a little moment. I think he was getting emotional. I think you said there was another one, Stephen, as well, where you seen him kind of getting emotional.
Half the world away, John.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those moments he couldn't get the words out, so he kind of stepped back from the microphone and let the crowd sing it for just a few moments, just as he composed himself again. But I mean, as he said, I think he'd have to be dead inside not to feel, and feel that energy coming from the crowd as well, and I think that's what makes these sort of gigs and these sort of moments special, and music's such a great thing, as it is, but when you can get that amount of people together all singing that, a particular song, then that's going to take you back. It doesn't matter if you're Noel Gallagher, Paul McCartney, or Paul Weller, or whoever. It's if you've penned that, and it's out there in the world, and and people are singing that back, you can't help but be proud of obviously what you've achieved and what you've created, but also take the moment in as well. And I think they did that a few times in these gigs. From what I've seen, they took in the crowd, and I always think, back to those sort of later gigs before they split, it just felt like it was going through the motions a little bit. And that's only human. We all do it, John. We all do it in our work. We all do it in our jobs. If you've been doing it the same thing over and over again, it becomes a process and it becomes a bit robotic and you're just going through the motions. I didn't get any of that sort of indication from the performance I saw on the Friday night.
No. Or the Saturday. I genuinely do think they're in their element. I think they're enjoying it. I don't think they're phoning it in at all. I think they genuinely appreciate being back together, experiencing this moment. And I think they just want to deliver for the people, Stephen, who have been behind them for a long, long time now. They've financially backed them by paying some of them exorbitant prices for tickets. Liam had a little joke. Apparently someone's raging at it on social media. Fucking frobber. You can have a joke. It's not Liam that made the pricing, it's Ticketmaster. It's dynamic. That's something that's built in. You want to shoot your shot at somebody, then do it with Ticketmaster. It's nothing to do with Liam. He doesn't decide. He doesn't need the money. The guy's rich.
You've got to take into account there's a lot of people to pay.
Yeah.
To set these things up.
Yeah.
It's not just guys on stage.
Exactly, and it's demand. You're trying to get into a highly sought after event. So they're going to. Yeah. It's just that's the nature of the beast. It's capitalism, mate. I don't know what to tell you. I'll get into this fucking box in a moment, Stephen, after I've read a couple more comments. But there's some absolute idiot filming people sat down and moaning. This is who you lost your ticket to. Well, I'd rather lose my ticket to somebody just sitting down in the moment enjoying the concert than someone sat with a phone filming other people like a fucking weirdo. I mean, that's incredibly odd behaviour, filming somebody and then sharing your footage with the Daily Mail, no less. Anyway, I love watching people's footage from the gig, exactly. I'm in the South Car. I say that, but then I'm quite happy to watch the footage that people put up, otherwise I'm not seeing it. So it's the next best thing, totally agree. I'm a fucking hypocrite. Very true, Mike. Yep. We could hear it and the stewards were great too. They let us sit outside on deck chairs. My name is Walsh, it's pronounced Sean. I do apologise. I am horrendous with names like that. The Irish names are even worse. What's that?
It's Sean the Sheep.
Sean the Sheep.
Sean the Sheep.
Sean the Sheep. Oh, Sean. Yes. I butcher the fuck out of Irish names as well. Shona or Shannon and stuff like that. It's like Sheila and I'm like, nope, forget about it. People in the crowd were in tears at how emotional all the way through, I can imagine. Steve, we've been there. I can't speak for you, I wasn't in tears, but I was caught up in it when I finally got to see Paul McCartney for the first time. It was like, fuck me, I'm looking at a Beatle on the stage. Yeah. I'm listening to a guy who was part of the Beatles, who penned and sung all of these great songs, being in the crowd, sharing a moment. It's what I love about football and just art and music and stuff. It's a communal experience. You're with like-minded people and you're in the moment, just living it. Me personally, I wouldn't have had my phone out. Obviously, I'm selfish, clearly. I don't want to share it with other people, even though I'm in that position, needing people to share it now. When I'm at concerts, I try to live in the moment and sort of bank it as a memory. I just love sitting there, sort of being connected with what I'm seeing, and just being in the moment. I think it's something fucking special that's been lost by this generation.
The footage, obviously, that we're referring to, and I'm glad it is out there because it gives us something to talk about on a show, other than just talking blindly about how do you think it went. We can actually mention how we enjoyed the performances. But when this was first promoted, it was obviously, part of the sort of promotion was this will not be televised. I know it's a kind of a rearranged phrase from
the
a long time ago. The revolution will not be televised, but we have seen enough footage on YouTube to know that there was multi-angle cameras, in one video, to know that there's obviously professional videographers capturing this. So I think we're going to see at some point. This might be part of the film, John, that we've been talking about, obviously the behind-the-scenes stuff, which I actually thought was going to maybe come out before all this.
No,
but I think this is something.
I think it's going to be a proper findable documentary, Stephen. I think it's going to maybe document the two brothers getting it together and arranging things, then right into the actual reunion tour. Maybe the highlights, probably predominantly the first night, and then the highlights moving forward. Hopefully just the UK tour. I don't want to wait to being over in North America. Hopefully they can put it together and get it out pretty quickly. But I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's going to be epic. Seeing the behind the scenes. I want to see what the energy was like before they went on and then afterwards. Because my first thought, that photograph I've cut out for the thumbnail with the two brothers holding hands, I'm like, you can see Liam is absolutely fucking up for this. He's got the little maraca things, I don't know what they're called. He's been out with them in his hands. This guy is just made for this. Most people would be shitting themselves in that position. He's been out with the maracas, ready to absolutely slay it. So I just cannot wait to see what the energy was like. They all look cool as a cucumber, Stephen, I have to say. Just the way they're game and bonehead, the way they're playing the guitar, it's like they've never left. And to be fair, they've been doing other things. But without repeating myself, the way they're standing, they're just in the moment, man. They're absolutely ripping it.
It's the first time we've seen Bonehead with Game Archer and Andy Bell as well. There was obviously never a crossover at any point with Oasis. It was a clean cut for standing on the shoulder of giants.
Yeah.
For new members to come in when Giggsy and Bonehead left. And it was nice to see them all on stage together, And I know that people were hoping for maybe Tony McCarroll or I'm blanking on the other drummer's name. That's terrible. Alan White. But I think after watching that, I think they've got they've definitely got the best version. I think that they could get. I mean, it's okay for nostalgia bringing out Tony McCarroll for perhaps maybe a couple of numbers, maybe Supersonic and stuff like that. But would that have been really necessary? I don't think so. In terms of musically, I don't think it would have changed anything.
No, I mean, Stephen, you need a guy who's going to be consistent, going to be fresh enough to be able to do the whole tour. And I don't know how fresh Tony McCarroll is, but I know this guy, I've even blanking on his name now, the guy that was working with obviously Squire and Liam on that recent tour and worked with the likes of R.E.M. You know he's going to be on it. He's a proper drummer. And he's going to bring his A-game for the entire tour. And that's what you need. You can't have nostalgia trips with bringing in different drummers for different songs. That's not the way a band works. A band's got to rehearse and be tight.
Waronker.
That's the one, yeah. He's great.
Yeah.
He's fucking brilliant. Stephen, I don't know about you. I mean, I'm going off piece slightly because it's kind of moving away from the whole reunion thing, but do you want to see them tackle another album now that you've heard them? Because they are that good. You think we know Noel was always writing. He said this in numerous interviews, that's his hobby. He doesn't have another hobby. He's always sat with a guitar. He's always strumming chords. He's always coming up with songs. He's always writing. We know Liam has been kind of prolific with writing as well. Do you think they've got something going on? Would you, I mean, having heard them now sound as good as they do, I'd be intrigued to hear another album now. I don't know if it's something they want to do. I don't know if that's pushing it too far.
The Daily Mirror reported 5 days ago that they're announcing a new album, but I've read some things. It's not what you think it might be. It could be a deluxe version of one of their albums or something like that. Because I think What's the Story? Morning Glory's 30 years old this year, so it could be that. Fresh material. Would I like to see? It really depends, because I think there's something about Oasis and I suppose any band, when they first came out, there's this rawness about them and this hunger and energy. And I think when you get to maybe the third or fourth album, there's something lost in that. And obviously they'll still have the hits. We talked about them, John, Little by Little, etc. And Heathen Chemistry. And I think you have those moments not as close together as the first couple of albums. By the last album they released, John, I can't even remember the name of it. I just kind of lost my interest at that point because
I'm trying to remember the name of it. I'd have to search it up.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I can't remember what it's called. Don't Tell Something About the Truth.
Don't Believe the Truth. I didn't mind that album. I thought that was it was Dig Out Your Soul, 2008.
I mean, and obviously comparison to the first few albums, it's in the shade.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know. I don't know if I'd want that. We've seen with obviously the Stone Roses it wasn't there. I know Oasis are a different kettle of fish to the Stone Roses in terms of material and the volume of work that they've produced over the years, but sometimes it's better just to leave things as they are. And we've witnessed that in film, John, when we've wanted something badly and it's just not went the way we thought it would.
Yeah.
So perhaps maybe it's best just to leave it. Remember the good times in terms of the first 3 albums and from 94, 95 and 97.
Yeah.
So if they did, then I wouldn't be upset about it or anything like that, but sometimes I think it's best just to leave things the way they are.
No, absolutely. I'm trying to think. I was going to say something else there and it's completely left my brain. But needless to say, look, absolutely blown away by the performances, the tightness of the band, the guitar playing is on point from Noel, from Bonehead, from Game, Andy Bell as well, bass playing, it's just as a band in general, absolutely on it, really impressed. As I said, I watched the first Rolling Stones concert. Someone had filmed it. It was over in America. Even if I wanted to go, I wouldn't have been able to fucking go. But Keith funked the first chord, and it was hard work. But they got there in the end after a couple of performances. They got their shit back together. They're much older, so it's easier to give them a bye. They're in their 80s. Ron's 78 or something. To be fair, Ron was fucking good with Rod Stewart. Not a huge fan of Rod these days and some of the things he's coming out with, but Ron was pretty damn good. He came on and done the Faces song. What's it called? That's it. That's the one. He was ripping it. Really, really good on the guitar. So Ron's still got it. But I mean, Oasis just came out absolutely flying.
Came out raps, yeah.
Yeah, they're absolutely flying, man. The guitar playing, the musicality, the voice from Liam. Really, really impressed, man. Looking forward to seeing where they go moving forward. Can they sustain that level of performance? I'm sure I'll be watching videos throughout the entire tour. I would imagine I'll want to peak for Wembley, because that is the big ones, isn't it? I know they're going to Manchester, is it Heaton Park? But Wembley's 100,000 seater stadium. Or like 90,000 seater stadium, and then you've got another 20,000 people on the pitch. It's like over 100,000 people. That's
the last time we talk about this. I think there's going to be plenty to discuss, as this whole tour unfolds.
Yeah.
But I think it's went off to a great start. I'm glad it has as well, because it could have went so badly wrong, and I'm glad it hasn't. I think Noel phoned in on TalkSport last week. I think it was a bit of a wind-up.
Yeah, it was that. And Jamie forget his name, James O'Hara.
O'Hara.
Yeah, he was stitching him up.
Dean Kunde. Is it Jason Kunde? Sorry.
Yeah, he's an always up there.
I think in terms of, he said that it's too late to go back now, so I was kind of getting nervous when he said that, you know.
No, but Stephen,
and I've seen people sitting on a train station over the past couple of weeks, and they're like depressed. You know,
no, but
worry.
I think even guys like that will have a bit of apprehension. I don't think Liam does. I genuinely think Liam doesn't give a shit. I think he's in his element. That's just him. I think guys like that, I mean, I can't speak for no, but you think of Lennon. I think Lennon used to get really nervous, John Lennon, before Beatles performances, nearly being sick. So I think it's natural to have apprehension. Certainly when you're coming back with a band you've not really performed with in a live setting for such a long time, you'll be worrying about, what if I make a mistake? What if this happens? What if I'm fucking shit? I know we've sounded good in rehearsals, but what if it's just a disaster? You'll be thinking, but once you get into it and start performing, you'll be like, fucking yes, I belong. And you can see it, man. He's getting emotional, but you can tell he's enjoying himself. I can't speak. Maybe he's having the worst time of his life. Maybe I'm talking shit. But from what I've seen, he seems to be enjoying it. He's ripping the guitar, man. He's playing little parts. He's smiling. He's like, fuck yes, I'm back. I'm the shit. To me, it looks like he's enjoying it. So, long may it continue. Like you said, Stephen, the world needs Oasis. We've not got enough good rock bands just now. I can't think of any rock bands just now. Off the top of my head, Royal Blood, Pretentious Arseholes, performed at BBC's big weekend. It's not exactly a rock concert in Dundee, and we're giving the Vicky to people because they weren't getting into their music. You're not really at the right setting if you're wanting to be appreciated. You've got people turning up for fucking pop acts and they're just so happy to see you. So you're maybe not a great example. I can't think of any other band, even now, that fills the shoes of Oasis. They don't exist. So we need these guys back. I'm glad we've got them back. I'm happy, and it pains me to say it because I'm not really, because I'm jealous, because I wish I was going to them, but I'm happy for the people who've paid the money that they're actually getting fucking something special back, because they deserve it, Stephen. Like you said, there's young people going there getting to see that kind of performance, maybe for the first time in their lives. Like 10 and 8-year-olds and 12-year-olds, that could change their life. That may make them want to pick up a guitar. And then we've got an Oasis again in the future, if that's possible. This could be an inspirational moment. So the spark that lights the fire.
I don't know why you say that.
The Sparks, Coldplay. Listen, I don't mind Coldplay. I'm not going to shit in Coldplay. They're not a rock band, but I don't mind them. They're fine with their glowing wristbands and stuff like that, and pretentious splattered clothing. Oh, Chris, never change. But look, man, I can't believe we spoke for nearly an hour on that. That actually blows my fucking mind. I thought it would have been a half an hour max and then we'd have been done. But look, glad to see they've hit the ground running. Fucking love them all, man. They're a top band. Cool guys. Couldn't be happier. They're also good Celtic men, as Liam and Noel. So I know they're City first, but they like Celtic as well. So that's a Brucey bonus. I always like to see people who have got an appreciation for the hoops doing well in life. So fucking on yous. Hope long may it continue. That's going to round it up though. What is your thoughts on Oasis? The first 2 gigs in Cardiff, opening up with a bang. Incredible songs, incredible celebrations, incredible atmosphere, vibes. Share your thoughts down below. Have you been there? Have you not been there? What's your thoughts on the performance? Thoughts on the tour moving forward? Anything we've touched upon? Share your thoughts down below in the comments. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon on YouTube to get notifications, follow button, notifications button over on Twitch to see us live over there as well, doing the exact same fucking thing on a different platform. And also left to be said is thank you to the comments as well, by the way. Until next time, thank you for watching.